Yo, K-Base Guy here, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and as you see right in front of me is my Yamaha receiver. I've officially got it back, and I wasn't expecting to get it back. I had no idea where it was in transit when I sent it back to Yamaha to get my upgrade. I had no idea what time it would be coming back to me. But lo and behold, here it is. I was actually expecting my monolith to be here. It's out for delivery right now, so I'll be getting that here in a little bit. But since this is here now, we're gonna go ahead and crack this box open. Let's get it. So if you guys are familiar with my channel, you guys know I am no stranger when it comes to Yamaha receivers. So I'm not going to go too in depth of what this is in front of me, but here we have the Yamaha Aventage RX-A3070, their flagship from 2017. The 3080 has replaced this one, but I'm coming from a 3060 to a 3070. So to brief you guys really quickly, for those who haven't been around too long, I had a 3060, I had some issues with it, went to get it fixed, ended up having more issues with it, so I ended up getting a free upgrade to the 3070, so I can't complain. Again, I will be getting an AV processor in the future from a totally different manufacturer, but this is a good upgrade to hold me until I can afford to get that. So I'm not going to do too big of an overview, but I'll give a little bit of specs here. So this is the flagship from 2017. It has a little bit of enhanced features compared to the 3060. It has a better DAC in it, things like that, small little things. Not so much cosmetic, of course, they kind of stay the same, but internally there's a new DAC in there. It sounds a little bit better, not as bright as the 3060 was, some say. A little bit more bass in this unit than the other. But I'll be using my Monolith, Monoprice Monolith 7 to power my speakers when that arrives. And that should be here today as well. So I'm super excited for that. But again, this is a 9.2 channel receiver that has 11 channels of processing, so it can run Atmos 7.2.4. You'll just need an external amplifier to run your extra set of Atmos speakers. So I'll be running all 4 of my Atmos speakers on the AV receiver, but using my 7-channel amplifier to run all of my ground level speakers. So that's the front, left and right, your center, and then all the rears. That's what I'll be using this receiver for. So not a lot of power will be needed from it. It's just gonna power my Atmos speakers. So guys, I'll show you the interface on the front here. Behind that flap, behind that panel, it's just some buttons here hidden away just to control a few things, your zones, your scenes, the menus. You can FM presets and tuning, you can do that there. You do have your microphone input, you have an HDMI input, you do have a left-right RCAs there, right there, white and red for you, and you do have a USB on the front. So I won't be using the front panel much at all other than just to set up microphone. I have done calibration before on the channel, so if you're interested in seeing if YPOW is any good, you can find that out here on my channel. As far as YPOW though, this receiver should have the enhanced version of YPOW, I believe. There's a little bit of tuning to that, so it should be a little bit better, a little bit quicker. Also, I believe that, I know the 3080 has Amazon Alexa, sorry for those who have one, but I didn't trigger her, but I believe this one is Echo friendly, I guess I'll call it that. This one has a firmware upgrade, I believe, that allows it to have one. That's what I've read, at least. When I was researching this one, when I was getting it, I wanted to know if it had Echo compatibility, Amazon compatibility, and it was mixed bag. But I ended up finding a review that said that it had it via firmware. So I may have to update this when I unplug it, or excuse me, plug it in. We'll have to see. So we'll just check a quick little glimpse on the back really quickly and see what that looks like. If I'm being completely honest, Yamaha doesn't have the cleanest looking back panel, but it serves its purpose. As you can see, you have all your speaker terminals laid out here in really high quality terminals there. You can use banana plugs, you can use wires. It's up to you. I'm a banana plug kind of guy. It's much cleaner and much simpler when you're moving your AV receiver or your speakers around. It's a much cleaner process. It's also a little more safer, so you don't have to worry about any wires being shorted out over time. I won't be using any of the legacy controls here, any of the RCAs up here. I won't need that, although I do have a surprise for you guys. I do have a record player, so I will be using the phono input right there. I will be using my pre-outs here. You have a full pre-out list here. You got your height 1 and 2, which is your presence. They call it presence in Yamaha, but that's where your Dolby Atmos will be plugged into. You have your front outputs, you have your surround back, and your subwoofer and your center. So I'll be using those to power my speakers. I won't be using any of these terminals other than the front presence and the rear presence. That's going to be my Dolby Atmos. Of course, this receiver has HDMI 2.0. It doesn't have 2.1. It won't be upgraded with 2.1 either. It doesn't have the hardware for that, but it has the current HDMI. It does do 4K, HDCP 2.2 compliant, so I don't have to worry about anything like that. This Atmos, DTS:X, all the decoding you can think of, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Music Cast, everything you can possibly want, this thing does. What's different between the 70 and 80? If you're curious, I can let you know that in a different video. Just let me know in the comments below if you're interested in knowing if you should upgrade from the 70 to the 80. I know the answer, but I'll tell you guys in a different video. As far as this receiver goes, I'll be using it for my primary listening position here in the room, my primary stereo. And I will be doing demos on this too to see if there really is a difference between the 3060 and the 3070. I know a lot of people have a 3060 right now who didn't jump on the 3070, and I'm going to tell you if you should jump from the 3060 to 3080 in a future video as well. So I have done some rearranging in my AV rack here. I've gotten some new shelves, and I'll talk about that in a future video. But right there is where the AV receiver is going to be housed. Right there is where the monolith is going to be housed. And as you can see, that's my new record player. Not anything fancy, but does what it needs to do. I'll review that in a separate video. Setting up this receiver is going to be a breeze since I'm familiar with it. I've had so many Yamahas. This is my 3rd Yamaha that I've had. So setting it up is going to be a breeze for me. I have all my speakers labeled so I know what wire goes to what speaker. And they're all hooked up to banana plugs. So it's simply just a plug and play. Once I get it set up, I'll make a demo for you guys. I'll tell you what I think about the sound of it. It's going to be kind of biased because I'm going to have a different amp using with this Yamaha than I did with the old Yamaha. I used that Aventage RX-A3070 to power my front, left, and right speakers when I had my 3060, but this time I'm going to be using my monolith to power all 7 channels instead of just 2. So the sound should be drastically different than it did when I had my 3060 because I'm using a different receiver and a different amp. Now I will go back and compare the sound from the Aventage to the monolith. I will compare the sound from a 3060 to a 3070, and of course I will talk about the monolith in a separate video of its own. So make sure to leave a comment, make sure you leave a like, and be sure to subscribe to be tuned to see that video. The monolith video is going to be the biggest video in a while. I'm super excited for it. I know a lot of you guys are excited for it. There's not really any monolith videos out there of the new amp, so I'm going to be one of the first to put it out there, and of course I'm going to be transparent with you guys and tell you what I think about it, how it sounds, how it looks, how it feels, everything, how much power it takes, how much power I feel like it's giving. We're going to have every review possible on this amplifier and this receiver and this vinyl player right here. So stay tuned, guys. K-Pace Guy out.